I just don't understand how an individual could go in and just, basically what they're saying now on the news is that he basically shot a classroom. Aside from the principal, from what I've heard, is dead. But he basically, they too, I guess, went in and just shot a classroom to death.
I just said
Charlie, thank you so much for that. We do
guess.
appreciate you talking with us. Again, there's a lot of conflicting and unconfirmed information flying around right now. A lot of people in town sharing information with each other. As you just heard just now, we are still working to confirm a lot of the information that we have heard, and we'll bring you guys that information. Back to you.
Sheldon, thank you very much. It's got to be incredibly just emotional for the neighbors to know that this happened, as he said, in a place where everybody's happy. And David, you said, it's basically like Pleasantville.
Right.
And so the neighbors are talking and the rumors start and, who was he? What was he? What was the motive here?
Right.
But again, at this point, what we do know is that the situation is safe, that nobody is in immediate danger anymore, and that's coming to us from the state police there. We want to get back to Jonathan Dienst now. And Jonathan, the news at NBC, Pete Williams is just reporting here that the shooter's parent has been found dead in the suspect's New Jersey home.
I don't know about both parents dead in the suspect's home. I know there's one parent dead in the suspect's home, and here's why. A law enforcement official tells me that this suspect, the suspected gunman, that his mother worked as a kindergarten teacher in that school. And that after committing some sort of crime in his Hoboken apartment where there may be a body, he then drove to the school in Newtown, armed to the teeth, and went into the school, first to the principal's office, opened fire in there, and then went down the hall to what I'm told from one law enforcement source, went down the hall to his mother's classroom and opened fire in there, killing, if his mom was in there, killing the mom and her students. And that is the information we have on possible motive. Again, that is from one source, so we want to get, and I've been trying desperately to get a second source to confirm that, but it is from a very good source who was briefed on this case, who tells me that the suspect's mother worked as a teacher in the school.
Every time he says the word suspect,
and that he went up
they
there
have that shot.
to target her, and that his last name is Lanza from Hoboken, New Jersey, and that his mom was a teacher in the school, and for some reason he went to target her and her class.
And Jonathan, can you run through that timeline again as your source relays it to you, how this unfolded?
Best information, and again, I stress this is preliminary, as we know things change all the time, but the best information based on the briefing that has been provided to various law enforcement agencies, this law enforcement official tells me that the suspect, whose last name is Lanza, went from his Hoboken home, where there is apparently a victim there, and then drove to Newtown, where his mother worked as a kindergarten teacher in the Sandy Hook Elementary School, and went into the school this morning around just before 9:40, maybe 9:30, and began shooting near the principal's office, if not in the principal's office, and then he went to his mom's classroom, where she was a kindergarten teacher, and opened fire. And that is where most of the children were killed, inside that kindergarten classroom. As you can see, the pictures you're seeing on your screen now is the SWAT teams that were searching around to make sure there was no other suspect, no other gunman, no other threat to the remaining children who were inside that school and in lockdown, and who were hearing the chaos and the shooting that was taking place. Again, gunman last name Lanza, opening fire with at least 2 handguns, and there's questions about whether he had some sort of rifle or other weapon, and that one law enforcement official saying his mom had worked as a teacher in that school.
Jonathan, did your source know whether there were any survivors from that kindergarten classroom?
Don't know. Don't know, but the source said that that's where most of the victims were, in that one classroom.
And so, Jonathan, I'm just going to triple clarify here.
Yeah.
We know that there's a body at a location in Hoboken.
We believe there's
a body there
at a location. So, in other words, the information we're hearing, and I think Pete Williams was reporting this along with the Associated Press, that his parents are dead.
Right.
And so that maybe it's his dad in New Jersey and the mom. I don't know who. In terms of specifics, all I know is that there's a scene in Hoboken, New Jersey now where they are searching the house where this suspect is from. Believed to be Ryan Lanza, and that he went up to where his mom worked in Newtown as a kindergarten teacher.
Did you add a first name just now?
I did. Well, the name I have from 3 sources.
Yeah.
Is Ryan Lanza.
Okay.
The computer records match. There's an address in Hoboken.
All right.
So, Lanza for sure. Ryan, yeah, it's looking like it. I think the age my producer Shimon Prokupes told me was 23. So, we're out. We have crews on the way. Mark Santia and Brian Thompson are both out heading to New Jersey to the suspect's home where we will learn more. So again, this is all from one law enforcement source. It is a very good source, but I just want to, there's a chance that there'll be some details that change. That's the gist.
All right, Jonathan, we're going to let you work those phones. So, contestant, now the pieces of this horrific puzzle starting to come together. At least we know this is not some random, and we figured that. We can't go to motive yet, but now there's a definite connection between a Hoboken location, this individual, and this school.
It may also explain why the gunman was allowed or was able to get past the security measures in place. If the school knew that his mom was a teacher there, that she was a kindergarten teacher, again, that may explain some things, and we may get some more information from state police when they give us a news briefing on this later on. Again, at the last briefing, and this was about an hour ago, state police declined to verify the death toll, but again, from Jonathan Deans, from Pete Williams, from all of our sources working this, it does look like the death toll now is 8 adults killed and 18 children. And again, as Jonathan was saying, that the gunman, it appears, went into the principal's office, shot the principal, and then went into the mother's kindergarten classroom and shot her as well as other victims in that classroom. And what we heard from a little boy who talked with Jonathan Vigliotti alongside his mom was that they were in the hallway, and the little boy said, yeah, I heard bullets whizzing past, and a teacher grabbed me and pulled me into a classroom.
So the presence of mind of teachers, I mean, you wonder, we hear about this, the fact that this is happening, you got to take a moment to realize, is this happening? But the teachers immediately jumping into action, and respect them trying, we don't know all the circumstances contested. This obviously quickly becoming a national tragedy. We've heard from the White House spokesman. We could very well hear from the president himself. Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic leader, also issuing a statement today. No words can console the parents of the children murdered at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. So, again, our nation revisiting mass shooting, and as you pointed out, the age of the victims here and the circumstances.
They will also, this investigation will expand if they know that there's a body in Hoboken, and again, that's according to one source, and we're working to confirm this for sure. But if if there's a body in the shooter's home in Hoboken, New Jersey, the investigation then will encompass, presumably, a bigger portion of Hoboken as well. And again, we're seeing the investigation there at the scene. We've seen a vehicle outside of the school surrounded by crime scene tape, and what we heard from Kai Simonson in Chopper 4 is that it was pretty much an off-limits vehicle, that there were not people going in and out, and we can read into that. It was parked in a no parking zone, that this may be evidence that investigators want to preserve at this point. But again, at this point, we're not seeing children being reunited with their parents any longer at that firehouse. Kai Simonson said he had not seen that at that particular firehouse for some time, and that parents, it seemed, were being taken, and we heard from state police that they were working their best efforts to make sure that the parents of these children who'd been killed had been informed.
A little more than an hour ago, we had a briefing from some of the officials at the hospital where many of the victims were taken. Let's listen to what was said.
Did receive 3 patients in transport via EMS after this shooting. All those patients have been evaluated and managed by our trauma service. We had received some pre-notifications, so we had our teams on standby and we're ready to care for those patients. In deference to the needs and respect of the privacy of the family and those patients, I cannot disclose any patient-specific information.